pull up in the forest. I started out with no money. Double they got me some harness. I go and get it regardless. Now we pull up in the forest. Yeah, yeah. Double it, double it, double it. Double it, got me some harness. Hop in that car, double it. Double it, got me some harness. Walking that, double it, double it.
Yo, 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 welcome back to King Sportscast on a beautiful Super Bowl Sunday week. Excited for this game, deep dive in it with my good friend Wayner from the Highly Offensive Podcast. How's it going, Big Wayne? Welcome back.
Finally, man, get some football this weekend. The Pro Bowl was a little bit of a joke, right? And
Can we just get rid of that thing? I mean, do we need to watch them play? Literally, it's worse than flag football. Like, I think we should just play flag football and have a lineman challenge. I'd rather watch that.
It seriously was horrible. They played it at like 3 o'clock in the day, so you could tell that they didn't even care if anyone watched it. So it's like, what is the point of even
just try to sneak it in there?
Yeah, like what's the point of even having it anymore? I know that it like some guys have it in their contracts. You know, if they're a Pro Bowl selection, they get a bonus, things like that, which is cool.
I mean,
but just flip it to all pro. Just flip it to an all pro team, kind of like the NBA does. Leave it at that. Like there's no
like a
reason.
Second and third team or something like that.
Yeah,
so
there's no reason to
still
even
have like
put
a grade system for pay or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, and not even kind of. It is ridiculous, but we do have a nice Super Bowl matchup this Sunday here in a few days. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to watch.
Super Bowl revival from the original Dynasty starter, Rams Patriots. I'm excited.
I remember watching that game, man. It's been some time. It was like one of my first Super Bowls that I remember because I think I was in 5th grade or 6th grade whenever it happened. I just remember how good the Rams were. They had just beat the Titans in the Super Bowl, I believe the year before, a couple years before. They had a
Rams
nice
Titans
team.
was the year before where the Jones, the linebacker for the Rams, tackled him at the one as he's like trying to reach out for it.
Dyson, yeah.
And that was the first one I actually remembered is the first Rams Super Bowl.
Yeah, so with the Rams Titans Super Bowl, I remember the Music City Miracle, and then I remember a couple plays. I can almost remember, from like play to play, the Patriots Rams game.
I can remember
when it all started.
I think
it was a classic. That the Titans had a classic team. Rams had the greatest show on turf, and then you got old Tom Brady coming in. Nobody really knew about him. He
young Tom Brady at that time.
A couple years removed from taking over for Drew Bledsoe. Didn't have many stars on the team. And that's whenever it all began for the Patriots, and that's why everyone who's not a Patriots fan hates them. It's not a hate out of, I don't respect them, but it's a hate of, I'm tired of seeing you guys win, and it's been a long time.
I think from the fan point of view, you have a lot of just hate because they don't understand the game, but a lot of players and a lot of, I guess, real football heads that aren't like Steelers fans really appreciate what the Patriots do from all sides of the football. And if you truly watch from a non-biased point of view and maybe just don't watch from like Tom Brady hate goggles, I mean, it's amazing football. From, the first man to man 53, the whole roster just plays excellent.
Yeah, then on the flip side of that, you got guys who they don't want to, NFL players who don't want to play that style. Like they don't want to practice that hard as the Patriots practice and have to listen when they go to these
Super Bowls that much.
They really don't care. I mean, honestly, you think about it, you're making millions of dollars. You made it to the league. Some people don't really care if they win a Super Bowl or not. And a lot of NBA players are like that too with winning a ring. I get it. I do. I get it. You're making millions. You're a professional athlete. Some people really don't care about winning the Super Bowl, and that's not what it's all about. But on the flip side of that, you have guys who take discounts to go play for the Patriots who do want to win the Super Bowl, like Chris Long did a couple years ago, LeGarrette Blount, people like that.
Chris Long did the back-to-back on two teams doing the same thing.
Yeah, he did. So did LeGarrette Blount, yeah.
I think too, you've been seeing a lot of cool stories come out, and just, to do anything to keep the NFL alive till the Super Bowl Sunday. It's felt like forever. One of them was Brandon Spikes came out with a story that he was mad that he didn't make the Pro Bowl, and Tom Brady walked up to him, and he's like, "Motherfucker, do you think I play for Pro Bowls? I play for chips."
Exactly.
So I thought that kind of like highlighted why, I think he's the GOAT. plays to win. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care if he throws 200 yards if he gets the win. He doesn't care if he throws 500 yards if he gets the win. And I think that really, truly sets him apart from the other quarterbacks.
Yeah, so
Obviously.
he still got it. We saw that in the couple games leading up to the Super Bowl. On top of that, it's going to be interesting. So a lot of the Patriots' success was on offense. They were running the ball, right? They were just running. They ran all over the Chargers. They ran all over the Chiefs. They actually ran the crap out of the ball in overtime to win the game. And Rex Burkhead ultimately ended up scoring the game-winning touchdown. My thing is the Rams are literally built from the inside out. You know, they have all the big names you want for run defense, and then they got the pass rushers on top of that. The linebackers aren't as good, but they got the guys on the outside to give their pass rushers time to get to the quarterback. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see what the Patriots do to game plan, because I don't know if they can set that play action up like they have against these other teams when it comes down to how they set it up against the Chargers and how they set it up against the Chiefs to be so successful. What do you think on that end as far as running the ball, then setting up the play action to open up the pass, open up Edelman?
The Rams defense has been a tale of two stories this year. Going into the playoffs, they actually were pretty poor stopping the run. And since the playoffs, they've obviously tightened that ship up. And obviously, they have the players on the defensive line part to do anything on defense, whether it's pass rush or stop the run. It's a tough matchup. If they're worried about the running game, which they should be from where the Patriots have been running the football, are they going to be able to get off in time to even touch Brady? Maybe the Patriots, the way they run the football is different than some of the other teams they've played. They might be successful against them. I think they were averaging almost 5 yards a carry for a stretch in the regular season. And if you do that against this Patriots team, you'll lose. No doubt in my mind you'll lose. Now, they have the personnel, probably the best defensive line in football on paper. And they definitely have the best defensive player, if not the best player, rated on PFF for the Super Bowl, in Aaron Donald. Now, if Aaron Donald gets all up in Brady's stuff all game, but our strength is our guards to our center. I don't know. It's going to be tough. We saw the way we lost the Super Bowl last year was our guard, Shaq Mason, got beat. I think it was a swim move by Brandon Graham. It's going to be tough. I definitely think that if the Rams come to play, that we shouldn't be able to run all over them. The way Brady is, I think we're going to be able to run the ball enough to where he'll still be able to do his thing. The way the defense is playing, I'm pretty confident. I'm a lot more confident than I was going into last year's Super Bowl.
Defense has been playing awesome for the New England Patriots. One thing I will say is Sean McVay is a genius of an offensive mastermind. Like he can set up plays, and he's still got a young quarterback. I mean, Jared Goff has a lot of room to grow. He's not making, every throw. He's not making all the correct reads. And if he can get him to stay calm the entire game, they got a real chance to put some points up against the defense. We already know the Patriots can put points up, right? I think it's going to be Belichick's defense against McVay's offense, and that's going to be the key matchup in this one. Their defense has been playing over their head for who they have, right? For the players that they have, they've been playing over their head, and they've been playing great. And like you said, they need to keep it up if they want to win this game.
I mean, I watched that Chargers game, and I said it to my girlfriend. I was like, if they play like this, they'll win a Super Bowl. Like, if they can lock man up all the way to the third option and get pressure on the QB, they're going to win a Super Bowl, because if you're able to do that with Tom Brady. So Jared Goff had a horrible start to that Saints game. Obviously, he outdueled and won the game eventually. I don't know if he's played good enough where if his defense excels, he could win, but I don't know if he gets in a shootout that he could beat Brady with the playing with. Now, the Saints had a tough defense, and that's a crazy environment in New Orleans. I like our chances with Goff. If you have you can get down on him early, and the Patriots can play well out the gate, which they sometimes can and they sometimes can't in Super Bowls. I really think if we can take advantage of them early with Goff, maybe, kind of being nervous in his first Super Bowl. There's a lot of Super Bowl experience in the Patriots. I think it's 85 games combined Super Bowl experience, and in the Rams locker room, it's 5. So Tom Brady alone has 4 more Super Bowl game experience than the whole Rams team alone. I don't know how much that's going to go into it. But this is the tale of two teams. This is a team that's all structure and they have one goal. They don't have star players other than, they have the greatest quarterback of all time. And then another team that full of free agent offers, a bunch of top, I think every person on their defensive line was drafted in the top 14. When you have Dante Fowler, Aaron Donald, and Ndamukong Suh. Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh are the two best defensive tackles to come out of college football in the last 20 years. And they're both on this defensive line. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to do what the Giants did in the Super Bowl and the Eagles did in the Super Bowl and at least give them fits. And I think if they have an easy chance to do that, especially if they run the football the way they have been. If they're running the football, that's the one thing the Patriots don't like is a team who's determined to run the football. But I don't think C.J. Anderson gets the job done. I think Todd Gurley has to have a special game. I don't think they could just chip away with C.J.
Not a lot of people are talking about it. Todd Gurley barely played in the Dallas game. Then he almost didn't even play at all in the Saints game. And they were able to pull off 2 wins, which is pretty impressive considering he's their best offensive player. He should be healthy by now. He's had time to rest. I mean, he's essentially had about a month and a solid 2 weeks to rest. And we know how good he is whenever it comes down to, just talent. I feel like he's going to suit up to play for this game. And that's going to be a big key factor. If the Patriots can't stop him, it's kind of the same scenario. You want to get Todd Gurley going to help take some of that pressure off Goff. And the Patriots' run defense isn't the best. They've just been playing really well. So it's going to be a matter of if Todd Gurley can get going. I think that's my biggest key point of the game.
Yeah, I think the matchups are the guards on Patriots offense versus the Rams defensive line. On the other side of the ball, it's Todd Gurley. If Todd Gurley's on the bike and he's not playing well, the Patriots are going to win this football game. You're not gonna beat the Patriots with C.J. Anderson just barely getting first downs and competing with the Patriots offense if their defense isn't just stellar, which I don't think Tom Brady is going to get held out. He has some sort of fire that everyone who's just been holding him down, it's just been fueling him and fueling him and fueling this team. They're trolling on social media about it. They're after games, literally word for word, repeating what people are saying on ESPN, Fox Sports 1, Yahoo Sports, all of them. A lot of these people have had careers in sports news, basically doing what we do by just predicting the end of Tom Brady and the Patriots. And they're just using it, honestly, beautifully.
Obviously, you're going to play with a chip on their shoulder for this game. And that's what the Patriots do. They always get motivated. Even whenever Vegas doesn't have them as an underdog, they still feel like they're an underdog, and they find that bulletin board material through the dumbasses who count them out and kind of just run their mouths, like you said, to try and get some attention. They use that, and it does fire them up. Essentially, it's going to come down to executing, and the coaching is honestly the point. Can they coach the defense up to stop the Rams' offense? Can they coach their offense up to be able to get Edelman open on those third and longs? Because the Chiefs' defense is nothing like the Rams' defense. We've talked about how good the Rams' defense is. It's an easier matchup for Goff on paper, but you know that Belichick's going to have a couple tricks in his back pocket to pull out, manipulate that defense, give Goff some looks he probably hasn't ever seen before. And then another one, I think the Rams are going to try another fake punt, and Belichick's going to be there, and he's going to stop it. I can feel it.
They love that stuff. I swear on my life.
They love using Hecker.
I don't think it's going to happen. And if they do, it'll end abruptly.
Wait and watch.
Also, too, when you're talking about Vegas earlier, the Rams actually came out as 1 point. They got a point from the Patriots, and Vegas went crazy. People were betting on the Patriots like crazy. That the line went from 1 St. Louis to 2.5 within hours, because people were like, "Wait, you're gonna give the Patriots points on a neutral field?" And all the sharks are going out to Vegas and starting to throw money.
Definitely, it's just 1 point, but still, if you can get a point on the Patriots in the Super Bowl, that's definitely going to be where you put your money anytime, just based off of history and the youth in the Rams and the experience there, the lack of experience, I should say.
If I was McVay, I'd make sure every member of this organization and be like, "Hey guys, do not make a peep. Don't make bulletin board material. Don't say anything about the Patriots that they could go and make it a motivational tool. And Roby Coleman, the great penalizer, as everyone knows him in New Orleans, comes out and says Brady has looked aged during the year. And I read this and I'm like, just why? Why, bro? Like, you're not even the dominant corner on that defense. Why are you making it harder for Talib and Peters and everyone else while you're just the nickel corner? Like, shut up.
Yeah, he's been talking a lot ever since that play happened.
It like made him famous. I don't understand it.
It didn't make him famous. It gave an idiot a bigger voice. Yeah, it gave him a bigger voice, and he finally, got a little bit of spotlight, and that's why he hasn't been talking much in the last 8 years he's been in the NFL. But yeah, he made a stupid play. He got lucky. They didn't call it. Who knows what they start asking him, interviewing, and they realize this guy's kind of stupid. Let's see if we can get more out of him. So they keep pushing and asking him more questions, and they just walk him into stupid-ass statements, basically, is what it turns out to be. The media loves trying to find stories Super Bowl time. There's really not too many for this Super Bowl. Like, there's, normally they have some crazy storyline and build it up. But basically, like you said before, we got a Rams team who went out, they spent tons of money, and they put together a star squad. I mean, in the beginning of the year, everyone predicted that the Rams were going to have a good team, right? And then on the flip side of that, the Patriots hardly spend any money at all. They give out, decently fair contracts to the guys who have been around for a while, and then everyone else is just filler role players. It's complete opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to how they pay their players and how they set up their schemes and everything like that. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, and another aspect you had touched on is the linebackers for the Rams is probably their weakest part of their team. And when you're going against the Patriots and your linebacking core isn't the best, you're going to have a long day. And I really think that James White might eat and have another, like, he could get the Super Bowl MVP. If he gets going, everything else starts coming into play, because that's almost like a running game in itself.
Yeah, it's long handoffs basically with James White. One thing though that I noticed with the Chiefs is the Chiefs actually got the Patriots in some bad spots. Like it was 3rd and 17 at one point, 3rd and long multiple times, and Edelman just kept making plays.
Yeah, Brady was just eating them on 3rd and 10. I feel like it was 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10. And he just kept converting.
Yeah, and it was, I would say 90% of the passes went to Edelman. My question is, are the Rams going to stick with their normal nickel guy, who is, I'm pretty sure it's Coleman, or are they going to bring over Peters? I don't think Talib's going to cover Edelman, but I've been researching it to see what people are thinking. And basically no one thinks that Talib's going to cover Edelman just because it's not a waste of his talent. He's just better on bigger guys. So if you're going to put him on anyone.
I don't like that matchup at all. I think Edelman would eat him in the slot.
Yeah, it would be tough. It would be tough for him. Even though Talib is one of the best shutdown corners in the league, he's not the best slot cover. So it's basically you have Peters left to match up on Edelman, and we know how Peters is, but Edelman doesn't have the speed to beat him, so it might be decent matchup for the Rams. That's one thing I'm going to be watching though, is how they cover Edelman on 3rd down, because the Chiefs did not game plan for him at all.
Yeah, on top of that too, I'm actually interested to see the coaches go against it. Like you said, it's a big matchup, and McVay has shown his youth at times in the playoffs and in the latter part of the regular season, and his offense definitely hasn't been as explosive in the last 6 to 8 games. They've definitely come back to earth on that side, and I don't think that they're going to win this game if they score 17, 20, 25 points. They're just not. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that unless they get a stellar performance of defense. The only thing too is I want to see how Talib and Brady, like, who benefited more playing with each other. Like, will Brady know what Talib always does? Or is Talib going to notice a niche or a little thing here and there to be able to pick Brady off?
Well, that's the thing with Brady that a lot of people don't realize is his head and his schemes and where he goes with the ball beats a lot of people, most of the time, especially now as he's getting up there in age. He's not making these miraculous, he shrugged off a a linebacker or a defensive end and then throws the ball 60 yards. It's nothing crazy. He's just straight up beating you with schematics. His guys are getting open. Edelman's finding a soft spot in the zone, things like that. So, Talib, it's one of those things where if he's good enough, with his film, remembering, like you said, going against Brady, maybe in practice, stuff like that, there is a possible chance he could sniff a pass out, maybe get a pick. But sometimes Talib's just good. I mean, he just covers the guy, breaks off his route, stuff like that, and gets to the ball first.
Yeah, and it's hard for corners to be incredibly dominant against really smart quarterbacks because obviously if you're so good, they're just going to avoid him and they're going to scheme him out of the play.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Are they going to waste him on like someone like Chris Hogan or Philip Dorsett? Or are they going to who
I like
the Patriots
on
will,
Gronk. I don't know if they've done that in the
that's
past. I think that would probably be the smartest on plays that that Gronk's not running blocking or they're trying to he puts him on the outside wide. I like Talib there because he's big, strong, and fast.
That's what I was about to say. Do they pull him over on Gronk every now and then?
Maybe they test Roby Coleman for a little bit and then go to Peters, but I'm not sure how that would affect their scheme or not.
Yeah, Roby Coleman sometimes, like he was on that play where he hit Lewis. Lewis came out of the backfield, I'm pretty sure, for that play, and he was beat. So Roby Coleman might have to cover James White a little bit here and there, and that's not a good matchup that the Rams want.
My major key for the Patriots is let's test their weakness and going after the linebackers, go after their corners, and get James White going. Really like James White. Just watching even some film on him today, he absolutely makes people just fall over how quick he is. He's probably the most underrated receiving back in the NFL.
Yeah, it's the system, and he's good. I've seen other guys.
It's that Kevin Falk position. Like Kevin Falk was that.
Dion Lewis.
Yeah.
Dion Lewis was a monster before he got hurt while he was at the Patriots. Definitely interesting to see, how much they utilize White out of the backfield because you're right, the Rams have gotten beat with those pass catching running backs. However, they were able to contain Alvin Kamara decently against the Saints, and he's one of the better guys out of the backfield, first down hawks. So similar matchup. I don't know what happened in that game. I watched the game. Breeze just didn't make some plays that he needed to make. The Rams are here. They're good enough to be in the Super Bowl. So it's not going to be, a cakewalk or anything like that. It's going to be a good game. I really do think that.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means, but I could see it being like a 2-touchdown lead early or Brady controls it till the end.
Yeah, if they get up early like they have against the Chargers and the Chiefs, because I'm pretty sure they went up, 13-0 against the Chiefs too. The Rams don't have Patrick Mahomes. They're not going to be able to get back into the game. And Goff just isn't that type of quarterback.
I'm excited too about this matchup compared to playing a Breeze. I think Goff still has a lot of growth, which is good for the Rams, right? Like he took you to a Super Bowl and he's not even done growing as a quarterback. You got to be very excited what you have in Los Angeles now. But I'd much rather play him than Breeze because I think that, like you said earlier with Belichick's going to throw some things at him. He had no idea what he's going to do. And if they play in that man, get pressure in your face, Goff is a California kid. He's more of a laid back. He wants to just let the offense be how it is. He's definitely played well in this playoffs and has made a bunch of tough throws. I'd like to see us get in his face, hit him early, make him make some mistakes.
Well, we saw that, right? We saw that whenever he went against the Bears, he threw 6 picks.
Yeah,
when he went against the Eagles, they got into his face.
Hit him in the mouth, man. We need to do that early, take advantage of it, and let the GOAT take us home.
He's a really laid-back guy, Goff is, and he stays fairly calm. Even whenever he makes an exciting play, he still stays fairly calm, very level-headed guy. But you can see when he's uneasy, he's getting pressure. He's not, he doesn't have time to go through his progressions. He does tend to make mistakes when that happens, and it kind of snowballs for him. So you're right. If the Patriots can come out, get him to throw a pick early, get him off of his game, that's going to be the key to them winning. But on the flip side of that, if the Rams come out, they're able to run the ball effectively. Todd Gurley gets going. C.J. Anderson gets going. They're going to try and control the clock. I really do think that. And they're not going to put Goff in those situations because they understand that he's young. And Goff's going to be good, man. He's an awesome quarterback. I like him as a player, I think he's got all the talent he needs to have, and he's got a good system around a good team, but he's just not there yet, right? He's not, like you said, he's not a Drew Brees. It's going to be the first quarter is really going to tell a lot on how this game's going to play out.
Yeah, I just want one Super Bowl in my Patriots life where I could just not have a palpitating heart attack all the way through the overtime period. That'd be nice. Stephon Gilmore, who do you think he's covering? Brandon Cooks or Robert Woods, or do you think it's just is the play designed?
They utilize Cooks pretty good as far as moving him around. So I don't think that he is going to just, shadow Cooks the whole game. He's probably going to be switching it up, whoever's on the side. And whenever that happens,
They run that man, though.
they'll
They
probably
could
try
run
to
him
go
anywhere. You can put Gilmore anywhere.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't see them shadowing Brandon Cooks the entire game because Robert Woods is just as effective, if not.
I mean,
he's
he had
been
a
better some
statistically better
games.
year.
Yeah, so it's
He's just not the deep threat that Brandon Cooks is, I guess, in that offense as much.
I do think that they will the Rams will try to go away from Gilmore as much as possible. They utilize the tight ends fairly well. They got two decent tight ends.
Tyler Higbee, shout out, Pinellas County reppin', Eastlake High School.
Everett Griffin as well. They're both guys that they utilize out of that play actions. That's the thing about C.J. Anderson that really hinders their offense is he's not the best pass catching back. Whenever Todd Gurley wasn't able to go, we didn't see a lot of those out of the backfield screens and stuff that they like to do. And he doesn't have that big playability. He's just a guy that's going to, get you 4 or 5 yards and go on about his business kind of thing. But Todd Gurley is, he has that big playability. He can catch a screen or, a little flat route and take it 20, 30 yards if he gets some room. So I'm interested to see if he's healthy or not, because if he's not, the Rams are going to struggle.
Yeah, I think it's like the Melvin Gordon thing. When Melvin Gordon wasn't healthy and you saw that and they couldn't get going because you don't have a safety net that also is a touchdown provider. So it's really big. If I'm praying to God he comes out 50%, gets on that bike, he's just tough, and just get CJ Mr. 3 yards.
Yeah, well, we'll see because he has had a couple weeks to rest. Like I said, he barely played in the Saints game. That was 2 weeks ago. So what's your prediction as far as score? Right now, the Vegas odds have it as New England minus 2.5.
I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go, I think it's going to be like 28-21 or 35-21 or 35-28. I think the Patriots are going to get to 28-35 and they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots too, 28-24. I think the Rams are going to have an opportunity to score, but that 4 points is going to push where they got to go for a touchdown. They're not going to get it late.
I think it's going to be a much more controlled game, hopefully, from the Patriots, and I'm definitely trying to talk this into existence so I can just relax. The last couple years, the Falcons Super Bowl, I was like washing dishes. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with this team. Forget about Tom Brady. Cut this man. I'm just kidding. I'm excited for this game. We're going to have some people over, probably maybe get some Chick-fil-A catering. Who knows, dude? I'm excited.
It's going to be a good one. I'm pumped for it too. So, all right, man, thanks for having me on. Definitely excited for the game. Unfortunately, we're not going to have any more football after this for until the draft in April. So
just never again.
Yeah, forever.
Dumb. All right. No, just kidding, guys. But yeah, no, thanks for coming on again. Always love talking some football and some sports. Hey guys, appreciate the support. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, YouTube. We're gonna be coming out with a new basketball, some more address the new trade rumors. We're gonna have another episode coming here pretty quickly, and we're gonna have another Super Bowl episode. Who went to the Super Bowl, and he's gonna actually tell us how it feels to actually attend the Super Bowl. So that's gonna be a pretty cool episode. Just kind of dive down on the world's biggest sporting event.
Sounds awesome. I'll definitely listen to that one. I've always wanted to go to the Super Bowl. Just haven't had a good reason. Maybe whenever Brady retires after this one, I'll get the Chargers in there and have an excuse to go.
Yeah, no, I was going to go to the Falcons-Patriots Super Bowl with the person that I'm going to have on, and I had torn my ACL meniscus playing basketball, so walking around the Super Bowl and before having surgery didn't make any sense to me.
Right before the draft, right before the NBA draft, you tore your ACL, bro?
Yeah, right before I was going to the NBA, I tore my ACL meniscus. Yeah. I'm the classic Derrick Rose story. Had all the
Now
talent in the world.
Now
But,
he's doing a podcast.
Now
They
I'm
need
doing
to make a
sports
movie.
podcast. Yeah,
They need to make a movie
a 30
about
for
you.
30, you know, where the second coming of Larry Legend, the White Hope. No, but hey guys, appreciate the support and keep listening. We'll have some new episodes soon. Thanks again, Wayne. Peace.
Double it, double it, double it. Hey, I double it often. Not sick of the money, no coffin. I always give it my all, and half of my heart's in a coffin. I drop a stack of them all, and no, I don't stress what it costing. I keep my shit in my mind, but sometimes I feel like I lost it. I just wake up and I'm ballin'. I double it like Michael Jordan, and now all my exes are calling. They see my car and they yawning. I'm always single and fall, and now all these women are falling. But that doesn't matter at all, cause I live my life in the moment. Now we just making it last. Why you just worry about making it last? If I see it, I want it, I go get the money and buy it in cash. My life in the past is broke, so I just broke out of the cash. I hope I don't spend it too fast. One hand on the wheel and a stack on the dash. I started out with no money, doubled it, got me some harness.